I convinced David to do a live stream.
That's 100% true. All right, well, we want to check our mics, make sure we're working and
Everything's good.
all good. I'll get you a little bit more in the picture. I'm rocking Space Bubbles merch today.
Mm-hmm.
Very
It's
exciting.
exclusive, not available on the website. The back's really cool.
Can you see?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's my favorite design.
I like it.
I don't know. Is it just taking a minute to
It might be, yeah.
delay.
It might be.
the delay?
Yeah.
Well, we can still talk.
Oh, I think so. What are you thinking about lately?
Oh yeah, it works.
Okay, cool. Good.
Okay. So what are you thinking about lately? I don't know. What do you mean?
I don't know. Just trying to get into it. Well, okay, this started because, oh my God, our shed is really leaning, huh?
I know.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
To figure that out. This started because, get comfortable, because I want to make more content. And that gets me in my head. And I started thinking about how to produce it. And I used to do a daily vlog, which would take like 6 hours a day. Like actually, so much time shooting. Also a lot of time editing. It was like I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
Like I'd have to live a day and then edit from like 6 p.m. to like 1 a.m. It was just wild. So that doesn't seem right. Very clearly. But beyond that, I don't know entirely what kind of content to make. So I've been kind of in this place where I'm trying to think about it. And Miriam said, well, we just need to go live and it'll help you kind of blast through all of it because people just want to hear you talk. They want to get to know you better. And I said, okay, that actually makes sense.
No, that's not what you said. Yeah, he's lying. No, he sat there with his shoulders up to his ears, super stiff.
No, I don't remember that.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally on video.
Roll the clip.
Yeah, which we can't do because it's not a produced video. This is the issue.
Yeah, because I really think people want to get to know you as you, with your face. Because we do the podcast and people hear David, but I think it's different when you can see him and hear him and his eyes aren't closed and he's not channeling and he's just has his own opinions and life experience. And
Yeah.
because I think, especially too, with the channeling phenomena, like people play such characters and they like have to keep up this image in order to be respected, whatever the fuck that means. And I just think it's dumb.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. One of the most obvious examples is like, oh man, I don't even remember his name. It doesn't even matter. But he made some music, and like if you're a channel and you also make music, you have to make spiritual music.
Yeah.
But it's like terrible. It's cheeseball. It is absolute garbage.
I remember his name.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I still don't. It's fine. Oh, I do now. It really doesn't matter.
No.
Because it's an example, but just across the board, there's an image of a spiritual teacher that's very similar to the image of an academic. Like you're supposed to be very like reserved.
Yep, the things,
calm,
the
wise,
things you say, the things you
careful. Yeah.
Because you need to be those things in order to be respected.
Yeah. And it's weird
Respected
because
by buffoons, by the way.
Sure. It's weird because it's not about you. Like that's another weird thing about the channeling phenomena is it's not really about you. So it kind of like puts you in this weird place where like I'm bringing through these messages. They're mostly for me. It's been mostly for me the entire time. And there's a component of my channel that encourages me to share it, which is why I do. But if my channel didn't encourage me to share it, I probably never would have. I would have just kept doing it, I would imagine, for myself. Like if my channel would have permitted me to just continue living life as I was in California, like building a marketing agency, doing that.
I see what you're saying.
And then I could just channel behind the scenes and like understand more about the way reality worked. even if I wasn't directly putting it into practice, it would have satiated this feeling in me of like, I need to know what this reality is and how it works. And that's been my core driver as a channel from the very beginning, was I want to understand what is the truth about reality. Why is everything so confusing and so off? Why does nobody know where we even are? That to me was a big deal. Like, why do I leave a religion, come out into the world, and everyone's like, yeah, let's just party and like have fun, and like you got to be positive and you got to just do your best, and yeah, work sucks, but you got to, oh, you have a good job and secure. It's like, wait, this is hollow. None of this makes sense. This is crazy talk. Like, it was hard for me to enter the world out of religious life and then go, there's nothing here. So I need to figure this out. I need to get to the bottom of it. I need to know what the truth is. That's my personal motivation. But then there's this driving force that's like, yeah, but the reason why you're doing this isn't for you. It is, but it's not. Like, there's something bigger here, and other people find the same relief that you do, and they can't find that relief that you're finding anywhere. And that's a hard pill for me to swallow, actually. It's hard for me to believe that it's not that hard for me to believe. I haven't been able to find the things that have come through my channel anywhere, and nothing has brought me personal relief like my own channel. Nothing I've ever seen anywhere.
Yeah.
So I can then go, okay, people probably also find that same relief. I can like make that leap, but it feels weird to make that leap. And it's hard for me to stand in that place and go, what I do is uniquely important. Enough that I should share it on a regular basis as myself, and I should make sure that I'm showing more of me and my inner world. Like, it's hard for me to make that leap. Because then there's another leap, which is like, not only do they want the information, not only are they resonating with the information that's coming through my channel, and me channeling is important, but now me just living my life and showing people into how I live my life and make decisions and my personality, that's also important. Like, it's multiple leaps out. And I think that's why it's been historically, and still is, very hard for me to want to produce content. Like, I want to even care about it. I used to want to be more famous. That used to be drive me.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a famous musician. And then after that, I was like, well, I mean, like, a YouTuber would be cool. And oh, well, now that I'm getting into spirituality, maybe I'll be a spiritual YouTuber, and like that would be cool. And like, I used to chase the fame, but now I don't care really. Not like I used to. I mean, it's nice, but it doesn't really matter. So I have to find some degree of motivation behind it. And I think
fulfillment.
Yeah, some degree of fulfillment for it. And I think the thing that's driving it now is I just feel compelled to do it. But I'm wanting to find the thing and the format and what to do and how it makes sense and how it tracks, and like there's a degree of understanding that I'm struggling with. So I don't know.
And then that's where I come in, and I'm like, let's just live stream.
Yeah, so that's why. That's the background.
Let's not worry about the production and the everything of it all, like music soundtrack and the cool shots and the B-roll, and it's like, fuck all that.
I know.
Like, you already know you're capable of producing fun, cool content.
I know.
I think live streaming is something that's new, uncharted territory. There is not really any like takesy backsies. Like, the whole thing about being careful, and like, especially like, I'm so reckless. Like, I say every word you're not supposed to say, which is, I think, a great pairing.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And I think it helps. Because, like, it's also hard. I mean, we live in a world where it's like clips, quick
So
information.
much.
And I mean, what we're teaching, what the second paradigm's all about, is like an actual lived embodiment of divinity. Like, using your intuitive connection, knowing that it's pure, true, and valid, that you're connected to God, that you work for God, that you actually do have the ability to have your free will restored. Like, there's so many components to the second paradigm, and it is so deep that, like, how are you going to clip that?
Yeah.
Like, it's not clippable.
Yeah.
Like, we can make viral content. We can say all the things that culture wants us to say. We can do all the things that we can pull from the feed of what all the other people are pulling from, which is just bullshit. It doesn't actually even work. it works for virality, but then what?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do with that?
Yeah.
These boots keep my feet so warm. I don't even have the winter warmers in them. So I'm airing out my pigs.
Cool.
But I'm not going to show you guys. That's for my OnlyFans.
Imagine if you had an OnlyFans.
Just for my feet.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's just feet pics.
yeah, exactly.
But it's still so weird. It is so weird because it's not like people are like, "Oh, nice feet."
No,
You know?
they're jizzing about it.
Yeah, they're jazz.
They're jazzed. Just.
Just hands.
Just hands. That's wild.
Yeah. I know. We live in an odd world.
And I think like the silence in between moments is important. Like when we're on our group calls and working with people one-on-one or in a group, like there is a lot of silence.
Mm-hmm.
And we all just kind of sit there and just be with the energy, and we're scanning and they're checking in. And I think we can create those same experiences here as best we can on a live stream.
You're probably right. Yeah, it's hard to find calm moments. It's hard to find really even spaces, like a context in which to be quiet. It's weird to just sit there and stare at the wall.
Mm-hmm.
You do it, you know? Sit and just daydream. And like while it's happening, you know it's good. You're feeling it. But it's hard to have some sort of contextual situation where you feel like it's normal to just sit in the silence.
Mm-hmm. I know when people are new to our groups, it's so funny. They're so fidgety and awkward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But even a few weeks in, it's just like...
Then they're like sleeping.
Chilling.
Laying down.
Yeah.
It's good. See, live streaming's not so bad.
No. Fine. Just like I knew it would be.
Uh-huh.
It's just such a different mode than what I was thinking, you know, which is probably why you're getting the ping to it. I mean, one of the main things I've been feeling is just to start, just to get in there and to tinker and to even just start engaging with the idea of putting myself more out there in an actual way.
Yeah.
That seems like the main thing.
100%.
The main thing. You know, I listen to like YouTubers talk about making content and stuff, and most of it's garbage. Most of the tips and the tricks and whatnot, I kind of roll my eyes at. I'm like, yeah, I guess, yeah, I can see that. Like there's the obvious ones, you know. It's like make more content regularly, show up, but
be consistent.
But then I like every once in a while there's something where I just like the way they talk about it. And when I heard Mr. Beast talk about making content, he's like for most people, your first videos are not going to get views. No one's ever going to see them. Just make them. He's like once you make 100 videos, then maybe we can talk about how to make something go viral. He's like, make your first 100 videos. He's like, none of them are going to work. Just make them a slightly bit better every time. And it's a good, like, actually grounded reminder of how life actually works and functions.
Yep.
Actually reminds me of your article in the magazine that nobody has read yet. Hasn't gone out yet.
Which one's that?
But there's an element of like just trying new things as an adult.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And as a kid, you're not expected to be good at things. You don't expect yourself to be good at things. There's just like a very free learning. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. so this is 1 of 100.
You want to talk about the world a bit?
Oh, the world?
Yeah, what we were talking about earlier.
The shape of it, or?
Sure, we can talk about the shape of the earth or the history, whether the history's valid.
Oh God, the lies we've been told.
Yeah. No.
Israel and Palestine.
Yeah.
That's the latest
Yeah.
thing you're supposed to talk about.
Yeah. We were talking about this, and it's interesting. We formulated our thoughts completely separately on this. And our thoughts that we formulated completely separately are we're completely disengaged, almost surprisingly so. When I look back at like 2020 plus and all of it, every little thing that happened, there was a very strong pull to go learn as much as possible. Just about the world, about how things worked, about government, about the latest happenings, like even to some degree with like the Russia and Ukraine like conflict. There's just more of like, all right, let's see what's happening, let's make sense of what's happening. With this, I feel less energy than I do with anything.
I know.
Anything.
Same.
And there's obviously people that are like, well, that's because it's fake, or that's because it's not happening. And I don't actually know. I know nothing. I've maybe looked at Israel Palestine for like 3 minutes.
I know.
And it's actually shocking to me how little I'm guided to learn anything about it. And everything I see come up, intuitively, it's like, yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, move on.
I know.
And even my curiosity it's not enough.
I know,
to override that feeling.
Yep. I know, because I'm like, okay, so what are they setting up? And then I can't even go into that.
Yeah.
It's like, meh.
Yeah.
It's like everything and nothing.
Yeah.
It's like irrelevant.
Yeah, when I feel into it, there's a component of how are the world events that are happening relevant to you and what's happening, what you're here to create, what divinity is trying to get through to you. And there was a big push in 2020 for a lot of spiritual people of divinity actively trying to get through to us that darkness is real, corruption is real, bad people exist. Conspiracy theories aren't all conspiracy. There's all of these little things that it feels like lots of us have explored. But like at this point, global conflicts, to me, all this does is stir up fears about World War III. That's all. The only threat I can find is World War III. That's it. But World War III feels no more probable today than it did 2 weeks ago. It feels the same.
Yeah.
It feels like we're on a similar trajectory as we were before. It feels like we're inching closer to that potentiality, but it feels no different. And that's the only thing I think I would come up with if I were to go into that exploration is, ooh, yeah, we're closer than before. Because I have a feeling that the world powers are organized in such a way around this conflict that it could be one of those like Franz Ferdinand moments.
I don't even know what that means.
The Duke that was killed, like one of the pieces that started the World War. Doesn't matter, but it could be one of those
Nothing
like
sticks in my
it could be
head.
one of those conflict starting moments with how
I
much
see.
people care about Israel, with how much Bible prophecy is wrapped up into Israel. I could see this similar to Russia, Ukraine, similar to China, Taiwan, being just another one of those conflicts where it divides globally and still drives toward that singular narrative of here's the world powers on this side, here's the world powers on this side. There's democracy and freedom as seen by the US, and then there's the challenge to that world order by Russia and North Korea and the dictatorial leaders, and they think that we're terrible and that we're causing all of this trouble, which probably, and we think they're terrible because they don't have the freedoms that we do, but what fucking freedoms? Like there's this weird narrative that's being crafted, but the only thing I feel in this is the exact same narrative as that has been crafted for like the past year and a half, continuing to be crafted, and it feels like me knowing things about this changes nothing.
Right.
I feel very prepared for World War III. Not like physically, like we could have more supplies.
Yeah.
We could have like a machine gun, like fucking maybe. But like what the fuck am I gonna do with it? Like protect our neighbors, like hide out in a tree and fucking black paint on, put up alarms, perimeters. Like there's like physical safety stuff that like sure I could be more prepared, but I feel very ready for whatever's going to happen in the world. At this point, I know that no matter what happens collectively, I'm going to be calmer than 99.99% of people using my intuitive access. I'm going to be able to navigate that situation. And regardless of how freaked out everyone else around me is, even if you lost your shit, even if your mom lost her shit, even if everyone is going crazy, I'd be fine. And I know that I could pull through what needs to happen, and I can click into that mode where I'm calm, cool, collected, and everything will be fine. I know that without a shadow of a doubt. And you wouldn't lose your shit. You'd probably be more calm than I am, honestly. Like, and you'd like be fucking ripping into shit, like, you know, like this is fucking bullshit, and we need to fucking get the fuck out of here, or we need to stay here, we need to hunker down, everyone's trying to get
No.
the fuck out,
I'd
whatever everyone
encourage
else
the
is
shitty
doing.
neighbors to go out first. I'd be like, yeah, get out there, be brave, first in line.
We're gonna need some volunteers for security.
You'd be perfect. That's my role as the HOA representative.
But like at this point, I feel fine about it. If we're gonna go there, we're gonna go there. If we're not gonna go there, we're not gonna go there. And regardless, it's like I can trust that divinity has my back. I know God's real. I know my intuition's clean as fucking silk, white silk,
Smooth as silk.
crystal clear, smooth as silk. I don't just good. It is good.
Yes.
Good and clear and crisp. So I don't feel worried in those situations. And the only thing I feel like I could get from this, and I think the only thing that most intuitive people who have been on a similar trajectory could get from this is, oh, we might be going down the same fucking road we've been on for a long time. Now I just wasted my fucking time learning about the history of Israel-Palestine, learning about the conflicts and the borders and the biblical prophecies.
What does it even mean to learn about it?
Learn what the narrative is around it.
Yeah, so then you take on the opinion of what the talking heads say.
100%.
And you just, since it's not maybe a mainstream talking head, it's an alternative talking head.
Yeah, 100%.
Like then you're programmed with a new stance that you're told what to think and what opinions to have, so you're not a bad person. How about what if you just say, I don't care?
Yeah.
That's like highly offensive, but that's where I shake out in all of this. I'm like, I literally don't care. Like it has... No, nothing sticks. I have no, which is a flag to me. If history never stuck in my brain, I sucked at history. Turns out it was all lies. So no wonder why it didn't stick. Truth, I can remember truth for fucking days. I mean, years. Yeah. People tell me their shit, and then like 7 years later, I'm like, oh, are you still friends with Judy? Like, Judy, how do you remember? I'm like, yeah, the lady that you met at the coffee shop, remember? She asked you for this and that and the other thing. And they're like, oh my God. That shit I remember. History, no. Yeah. It doesn't stick at all. And I think there's a reason for that, because it's not true. Yeah. So then all of these crafted stories of like whose side you're supposed to, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, blah, 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 blah. It means nothing. Like I can't get into it at all. And I think that means something, that I can't get into it.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think it's okay. Like, it's weird. Like, I feel like as, like, truther, patriots, spiritual, new age, wherever the fuck people fall, Christians, because, right? I don't know. The whole thing. People feel like they need to care and have a stance. And 100%. They need to have the stance that their pocket, that they're identified with, has. They need to have the same stance.
Yes, and need to express that stance.
Right, because that's what you do on social media. You express, and then now it's like I'm praying for Israel. That's all I'm seeing is everyone's just praying for Israel. And I'm like, is this even happening? Because these videos look fake. Like, what's going on?
There are some it's shocking. I thought I was bracing myself to see something very terrible, and this guy shot an RPG, and it hit the helicopter. The third one hit the helicopter, and the way it exploded, it was like a poof, like a graphic, like a CGI graphic, and I was like, there's no way people think this is real. And the comments, oh, nice video, bro. Like what video game is this from? Yeah. Like nice CGI. It's weird how much is around it.
I know, and then people are saying that like the Israeli parliament is shouting like death to America, when that's not even the real translation, but that's the headline in the clip. And then it's just like the whole misinformation narrative is rolling, and like there's actually truly misinformation. And like, but the whole thing's misinformation. Like it's all to get people into a panicky state and then manipulate them. It's no different than 10-4. It's no different than the frequencies. It's no different than September 23rd. That was supposed to be a thing because The Simpsons referenced the 23rd. Like there's like
Yeah.
on and on and on. Everything's a thing to be
Yeah.
afraid of. And then
Yeah.
it's so easy to just control you. But like when you have your own intuitive connection and you know you're connected to God and you check in and then you get back the message, oh, hey, this is irrelevant to you. Like, hey, go do the dishes, do your laundry, don't worry about it, clean up your garden, your summer garden because now it's fall. Like, you get to trust that feed over everything else. And like, that's the only way to navigate this. Like, there's people are going to they've already lost their shit. We saw it in 2020. People lost their fucking way and turned on each other, turned into like radical animals, yelling at people, not letting people in stores. Like, there was just mayhem. And if you don't have a clear connection to your own feed, like you're going to be fucked. I say this every time, but it's just true. Because then what good does it do the individual, the person that's checking in with God, what good does it do you to find out that, oh, it's irrelevant to look into this further? And then you do it anyway. Then you look into it further when you could have taken down your summer garden. And like maybe had some other insight while you were out there. I certainly did the other day. Like there's so much more here for us as the individual that is considered in the whole when we're checking in with God.
Yeah.
Same thing with Maui, like all of that. Like people, it's like there's just all of these, like there's always going to be a world event that we're all supposed to talk about. But like we're not supposed to. I think technically like before the internet, we didn't know this stuff. We didn't know it till the next day when it was in the paper, maybe. And now we're like knowing it in an instant. We're seeing live feed videos or whatever the heck is happening of whatever type of circumstance.
Yeah.
We're not equipped for this kind of rapid fire information.
Agreed. That's the exact same thread that I was feeling on our walk. Because we were talking about that feeling of like, yeah, I don't care. Like I almost feel a repulsion to this whole topic. Like I care less than I should care. And I'm so far on the not care spectrum that I feel a little bit disgusted and repulsed by the videos as they come through my feed. Like there's a strong, it's like the same side of a magnet. Like I cannot engage with it. My intuition will not let me go at all. Like hard red light.
Yeah.
Like not even like a yellow light. Like you could look at it, but it's not going to go anywhere. Just a hard fucking red.
Yeah.
And I don't get that feeling very often with things. But when I try to understand why, it's like, when I zoom out and I look at the world and I think about as a news network, what I choose to cover and the stories and narratives I choose to create literally define how people think about the world.
Yep.
And there's a large enough sample of people, this is a large enough population, that you can literally create any story any day and make people feel any way about the world.
Yep.
You can pick hundreds of good things that happen today and make people feel great about our economy. You can pick people who just got new jobs, make people feel great about Joe Biden's presidency. You could make all of that stuff look great if you wanted to. Or you could pick 10 people that died. There are people, I mean, I don't know what the actual statistic is. I want to imagine, I do imagine that the numbers, something like every 100 seconds someone dies? Like how many people die a fucking day?
8.
It is ridiculous. Yeah, right? Like
I have no idea.
It's a lot. Out of those people, there are going to be trends. Maybe not every single day the same trend, but you can pull out any story you want out of that.
Yeah.
And to think that we're supposed to care about these exact people in this exact moment when everyone else is dying and struggling in a wide variety of ways, why? Why? What's being done to our perception?
Yeah.
And if you don't learn to not care about the narratives that are being shoved down your throat, then your perception is going to be so manipulatable and malleable to whoever wants to manipulate you just by presenting you with facts. Presenting you with this fact and this fact. You can't dispute that certain things are happening. I mean, maybe, but you can't, you get in there and you try to, no, that's not happening. It's like, no, it is. But it's one data point among millions of data points. it's a very specific narrative being crafted. And I think until you see that, like, you don't feel like you have permission to not care. Because it's not like I don't care about people being hurt, of fucking course, but people being hurt everywhere in a wide variety. Someone just fell off the roof. Just right now, certainly. Someone just fell off the roof right fucking now. Certainly, and are fucking screaming. Certainly. But like, it's not that there's a massive roof epidemic now, and you know, like oh, you better go check your roof and make sure if you're on the ladder, like you could make it so that people freak the fuck out about their roofs and about ladders and about heights, and it's wild how much our perception is actually being manipulated. Yeah. And that when I zoom out even a little bit, I feel more permission to not care about things. Yeah. Especially when I get the intuitive hit not to care.
Right. Well, that was the thing. I mean, that was what they used to manipulate, even when they were like, well, during 2020, they said that you'll kill your grandma.
Yeah.
That was the line.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, then I have to not care. Like, my grandmas are already dead.
Yeah.
They've been dead for a long time.
Yeah.
And maybe your grandma's about to die. Can you be okay with that?
I don't know if my mom's mom is still alive. Maybe. I have no idea. They speak Japanese. I can't even communicate if I wanted to.
Yes, you could. Babble. Or Google Translate.
Babble. Yeah.
But it's like, it's weird to take that stance because everyone's so indoctrinated to, oh, you have to care about grandma. Like, what do you mean you don't care? That's so selfish. And then you get all these labels put on you.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, but it's not relevant. Like, I checked in. Like, I'm not killing anyone's grandma.
Yeah.
Like, people, there's so much, like, guilt laid upon people. And you just manipulate them. Because people don't have their own intuitive connection.
Yeah.
And if they do, they're hijacked by the collective field.
Yeah.
Which is complete, like, it's just narratives and scripts. And you know exactly what it says.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing that differentiates our work and what we talk about from everyone else.
Yeah.
Is talking about the collective field and the fact that it's hijacked. Because you can feel into the collective field as a intuitive person what you would get back if you did the thing that you're being guided to do.
Yeah.
So what the fuck is that? How can you be guided to do something and then you feel into doing it and like all your shit comes up and you're like, oh, well, my sister would say this and my brother would say that and my mom would say this. It's like, yeah, how do you know that? It's because those people are running off the scripts of the collective field that's hijacked, that has all those things that you say in it. Like, you're a grandma killer, you're a alt-right conspiracy theorist, you're a racist, it's all just buzzwords. There's no actual nuance to the conversation either.
Yeah. And the collective field is the thing that makes it challenging for you to write a post on Facebook. It's the thing where you go to write something, you go to express something, and you can feel what other people will feel about the thing before you say the thing. That's our psychic ability to reference the collective consciousness, or we call it the collective field. And because there's so much pressure on everyone in the exact same direction, we say that it's hijacked. There's this sense of we're being driven and corralled through mass manipulation of our perspectives, as one very obvious example of it. We're corralled into thinking very specific ways, and if you don't think that way, you can feel that other people will know that you aren't thinking in the right way, and we all feel the same pressure, and we have this weird group think thing going on, where we feel if we're not talking about the thing in the right way, then everyone's going to hate us. That's what everybody feels. It's not just you. That's the weird thing, is everybody feels the same thing, and the reason why people are posting the thing is because that feeling that you're feeling. And once you know that, it's like, do I really want to play into it?
I know, I saw someone, even just the Palestine-Israel thing, some Christian woman asked, like, so how do we feel about this? Like, what are we, as Christians, how do we... She's like asking her audience where her stance ought to be as a Christian. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God. What if your stance is like, I don't give a fuck? No, that can't be your stance. That's like...
Because it's too important right now.
But like, what if you didn't give a fuck 2 days ago? If I asked you what your stance was and you were just like, I don't know. I don't really have a stance on it.
Yeah.
Like, why can't you still not have a stance on it?
Yeah.
Because now it's good to have a stance, and you have to have the right stance that's in line with the collective field.
Yeah. Yeah, enough people have to feel that it's reasonable. Someone has to be bold enough to say it. once they're bold enough to say it, or they, or once they say the talking point, whatever it is, then enough people have to agree with it, and then people start referencing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild how many people's opinions are other people's opinions.
Mm-hmm. I know. That's why you guys know, but if you listen to me, that's why I say, I'm like, we don't have free will. We don't.
Yeah.
We don't. It's this stuff, like these like big geopolitical events, like that to me is very obvious, showing me that people do not have free will. They're not sovereign.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Because people shouldn't really have an opinion about this. Like it doesn't make sense to have an opinion about this. The only way to formulate an opinion on this is to go to find other people's opinions.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that the average person has enough geopolitical knowledge to have an opinion about it, or cares enough about these specific factors and the Holy Land.
There's too much going on in people's individual lives.
Yeah.
That they just can't even sort out that.
Yep.
There's too much tension. There's too much already uncertainty right now, just without any of this.
Yeah.
Like the foundation is cracking.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild how you can create division among social groups by highlighting topics like this.
Mm-hmm. I know.
And have two very compelling narratives that conflict, because everyone wants to talk about it. Like, water coolers. Oh, have you seen what's been happening in Israel this week? Oh my goodness, I just can't believe it. And then what do you say? Like, which stance are you taking? Oh, I know, it's so tragic to see blank being harmed by blank, right? And the moment you do that, you signal to the other person which side you're on. And if they're on the same side, then you're in the club. And if you're on different sides, then suddenly you're enemies.
Yeah, I know. It's like BLM. It's the same thing.
It is. And it's sad because those aren't their actual opinions, right? That's what's sad.
That's where there's no free will and no sovereignty.
Is the social divisions coming not from opinion that they formulate in their own head, but their allegiance to a certain pocket of the collective. Like, well, I'm more like these people. Like, I like that they like freedom and democracy, and that they're like a little more rugged, and they're not really into these social movements and like changing all the language, and they're into like tradition, and I like that. And then whatever they say, whatever that pocket says, you then go and regurgitate it, and then you're seen as like a alt-right, terrible, nasty, racist, homophobic and it's like, man, you didn't even come up with that idea. Like, you're being judged for someone else's idea. Like, that blows.
I know.
That sucks.
It's really wild. People don't know where to stand on, like, really anything is what I see online.
Agreed.
Like, especially in June when Target went all pride, and then all the Christians and conservatives were all upset. And they were going to boycott Target for the month of June. Yeah. I'm like, you think this phases Target? Like, it's already factored in. They don't care. It doesn't matter. It's not stopping them. Like, your sales, you're going to go there July 1st. Like, what are you proving? What are you doing? Like, it's like it does nothing. Same thing with like, oh, you shouldn't shop at Walmart. It's like, okay, well then someone else needs to have better deals, because that's where I'm getting my fucking mason jars right now. Like, it's like, well, if you shop at Walmart, then you give energy to Walmart. And it's like, oh my God, there's so many rule sets. But it's like when you check in and you just go directly to God using your intuition, and you get the guidance to get your canning jars at Walmart, it means nothing. You're not single-handedly supporting Walmart. Like, they will exist whether you bought your canning jars there or not. They're not going anywhere. And like, how do you think that it's you spending your dollar, which is your energy, which is your money, and blah, blah, fuckity blah. They'll just print more. If the Walton Bros need some cash flow, I'm sure they got the hookup with the Federal Reserve, just like zoop, 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 zoop. It's not even printing anymore. You just fix the numbers on the screen, add a few zeros. It's like, it's all made up. And people spend their time like giving you new rule sets of how to be when you're in a particular ideology, and you resonate with so much of what people are saying, and then there's all of a sudden all these rules of the opinions that you need to have. I'm of the stance that people need to have their own fucking opinions, and it's okay to say, hey, that's irrelevant, it has nothing to do with where I'm going, what I'm doing, and what I'm here, like, completely irrelevant to my trajectory. You can stand in that. Like, you're allowed to say that here in the Dome.
Yeah.
if you're not saying that, then like it's like, oh shit, like I don't know, you're plugged in, you're hijacked, you're manipulated, you're malleable. Ideally, your feed isn't malleable.
Yeah.
But while feeds continue to be malleable, I will continue saying my snarky opinions.
Yeah.
There's like all these things I imagine as being a channel and a spiritual person, spiritual teacher, educator, mapper of reality, that like there's all these like characters and things you're supposed to do in that. Like the same thing about the song, and you know, you wouldn't be able, if you're going to write music, it has to be like Om Shakalaka, love, light,
Mm-hmm.
heal your genitals.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Try to keep the sex out of it. It's just more of love and light.
Oh, okay, love and light.
I am love, I am light, you are truth tonight. So come hold me with compassion, dear one.
Me.
Hold me with compassion, dear one, while I transmit my truth.
Yes, that.
From my light to you, we sing, oh, we sing. Yeah, I could. That is one option.
I'm so glad you don't do that.
That is one option.
I'd be horrified.
I would also.
But I imagine it's hard, and that's probably maybe even what's kept you from live streaming and sharing more of your own personal opinions. Not to say this exactly, but like there's just like a membrane or something to pop through of like bullshit. Like it's hard to just recklessly be who you are. Especially
Sure.
when there's like all these things that
Sure.
people associate with you, whomever you are.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I mean, my sense is that for a long time it's been fairly irrelevant. It's been fairly irrelevant. Like I could have, I guess, I could have live streamed. I could have done more to make more videos and whatnot, but I've
I don't think you've done anything
I've wanted
wrong.
to for a long time, and it has felt very irrelevant. It's felt very irrelevant. But I feel that changing, you know?
Yeah.
I do. But real time, I think you're right. Real time, I think it is very unusual to put myself out there.
People like, I don't know, I imagine other people that are doing something similar, which is really no one, because I can't stand other channels. Like I just can't.
I know.
It
I don't
doesn't
like most of our industry.
it doesn't check out. Like what they're saying, I'm like, what the fuck are you saying? Like this is just garbage. This makes no fucking sense, and it contradicts the thing you just posted yesterday.
I know, that really bothers me.
It's like, wait, this doesn't even
really
track.
bothers
You
me.
channeled nothing. You channeled an ideology that already exists here that a lot of people agree with, so you'll get a bunch of hearts.
Yeah.
Like you're not bringing anything new. Like this isn't novel. This isn't creating a deeper discussion. Like this is just nonsense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't. Nobody's doing what you're doing. And I think with that, they're also not real people. Like I never see these people that are channels as like just chill and real and normal. Like there's always like an educational element, or like I'm the authority and I'm here to teach you. You know?
Yeah.
Or like, I mean, they're
Yeah.
not aggressive. They're very docile little fucking bitches. Like there's not like a personality, like there's nothing like, it's just like it's so boring.
Yeah, it's very sterile.
But they're asserting themselves as an authority over you, and then their viewers acquiesce to that and then think that these people know more than them. And I'm over here being like, guys, all of these channel people that, or whatever the fuck they call themselves, thought leaders that you're listening to, like when they bring through something that doesn't check out with your feed, it's not because you're wrong. It's because you're right. Because what they're touting is absolute bullshit. You need to know that you do know more than them and that your feed is actually accurate and theirs is not. Even though they have the followers and the accolades and the praise, it's garbage.
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong with you. It is actually them. They are bringing through trash and perpetuating this new world order. Like actually, because they're channeling darkness. They will call it light, but it is not that. It is absolutely not.
Yeah, they'll call it light, but they won't call it God.
They will not call it God. And their beings that they interface with don't talk about God. What the fuck's up with that? It's disgusting. And they have all these people that are just putty in their hands. Seems awfully convenient for a dark agenda. Seems like the same kind of putty that you turn into when you can't figure out what's going on between Palestine and Israel. Same kind of manipulation. That's why I say you don't have free will. Yeah. And especially when you give over any sort of knowing that is coming through your connection, if you're giving that up because someone in a shiny rectangle tells you something different, and then you're like, well, so-and-so said this, and I think, maybe they're right. Like, maybe I am doing it wrong. Like, it's like, no, you're fucking not. No, you're not. You're not doing it wrong for you. If you were supposed to do it the other way, you would have been doing it the other way, but you're not guided to do it that way. So don't do it that way. Trust your own access. It's wild. And it is very unpopular, and it is not good for business to tell people that they're good. It is better for us to come on here and drum up all this fear and give you all these fucking affiliate links to click. Mm-hmm. That's going to be more lucrative for us because we need to secure our safety and security. That's the thing that's not being said because we're fucking terrified out of our minds and we need you to click our link. But when you're over here in the second paradigm and you know you're connected to God and you know that you're good and you know you'd be good in any sort of fucking World War III circumstance because dollars aren't going to fucking matter. Hello, doesn't fucking matter. Click the affiliate links all you want. It's fucking irrelevant. That cash means nothing.
Yeah.
So then what? These people don't have any fucking peace in their life.
You know what's fucking crazy? Is the power goes out. Nobody has money.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts to
True.
me. It's nuts to me how fragile everything is now.
Yes.
Even more than before, right?
Yes.
Before people used to have cash, like quite a bit of cash, or like gold. Like if we all had gold, like physically, and like a little fucking pouch that we carried around.
We have some copper pennies.
We have fucking like 82 cents now because we bought a bagel with most of our change. But like if we were carrying around physical money, it might be a little bit different. Like a little bit different. Because if everything went down, we'd still be able to like trade with our neighbors and still use like relative prices. Like, oh yeah, those eggs, probably like $5. Like here, we could still kind of go off our memory of how things much. But the power went out and we couldn't get gas.
Yeah, I know. Just recently.
We drove to the gas station. They were like, sorry, the power's out. You can't pump. I was like, wait, what the? That's actually I'd never thought about it. But I was like, that's fucking nuts. Mm-hmm. So like, wait, I couldn't even give you cash right now. Like your whole station's down. Like this thing won't even count how many gallons are going into my car. Mm-hmm. Like you think we have infrastructure, right? But like that shit's just, everything's fucking fragile. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
To a degree that we don't even realize.
So then what? Mm-hmm. Like you have to know, like this is the other thing is like your safety and security is insured by God. It is not insured by power, electricity. It is not insured by cash. It is not insured by any of that. Mm-hmm. However, affiliate link truthers would love for you to believe that you have no power. They need you to be putty. They need you malleable and scared, and they need to sell you gadgets like this blue shield here. They need to sell you gadgets.
Which I enjoy.
Lots of gadgets. They also need to sell you things like this so you can be scared. So you can be really scared of all everything that this is emitting.
Yeah.
Just blew out your
Yeah.
eardrums. You're welcome.
We got some radio frequencies.
But don't worry, because then they can sell you this. Shungite. So then you can be protected. So this will protect me.
Hey, don't scratch it against your mic.
From this.
Be careful of the sound quality, honey. You got some white hot truth coming through.
Or if that doesn't work, you can get a buster with inorganic and organic material. And then you put it right here on your third eye, and then you're going to be okay.
That's very
and they are going to keep selling, you know what? And then you know what else they can sell you? And then they can sell you this, a Faraday pouch from Infowars.com. And then you could put your phone in here. It goes on. Trust me, I fucking know.
Yeah.
What we have all these little shits, and what is it? Nothing. I don't fucking even know. And then we have magnets in here because we learned we were magnetic in 2021. And these fucking things, we got these to stick them to our face to see if they actually stuck. Oh my God, maybe I'm not. Oh no, I can still feel it pulling. So now we're magnetic, you know? This is just our little test bin of things.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But keeping you in a perpetual state of fear and not connected to what's here for you is prime game for these motherfuckers. Truthers, channels, whatever. Everyone's looking to make a fucking buck.
I agree. That's why I used to say all the time, we leave a lot of money on the table. And you never liked when I said it. Well,
because I didn't feel that way.
But you're making the exact same point.
Oh, right. Yeah, I see what you're saying now.
Thanks.
7 years later.
I stopped saying it because you were giving so much shit.
Because I didn't understand. I see.
Yes. Yes. We could manipulate people for money very fucking easily because we understand human psychology. Yeah. We understand how people think. We understand how the market works. We're smart. We can build web pages in a fucking flash. We can put things up very fucking quickly. We can write the copy. We know how to make it emotionally compelling. Yeah. We know how to play the fucking game and we know how to win.
Yeah, but we can't.
But it's not important.
Yeah.
It's not nearly as fucking important, not even close to this.
Yeah. I know.
And I would rather be dirt fucking poor in World War III than to fucking give up this.
100%. Yeah.
Every fucking day.
Yeah.
Every fucking day. I will never, ever, ever give up that. I can't.
I know.
I can't. It's the only thing that matters.
I know.
That's it.
I agree completely. I know. I could never do MLM life.
And I fucking get it now. That the story of Jesus, I always found it very like inspiring. The degree to which he listened to God. I always found that inspiring. Because God was basically like, yeah, so they're gonna like fuck you up. They're gonna like put a crown of thorns, like fucking push thorns into your head. You're gonna be bleeding all over the place. Then they're gonna hang you by your fucking arms and legs. They're gonna break your bone, not break your bones, not a single bone is broken, maybe not. But they're gonna fucking stab you with this fucking spear. They're gonna sell your clothes. They're gonna write King of the Jews, fucking like mocking you. It'd be like if we were hung in the fucking public square and they were like, intuition, king and queen. You know, it's the king of the intuitions. It's like they're gonna fucking mock you on your, but like you're like, I'm gonna go, and your buddy's there, fucking Simon Peter, whatever, and he's like, no, I'm gonna fucking cut this motherfucker's ear off, and like we're gonna fucking get out of here. Like I'm gonna kill this guard. There's 12 of us. There's fucking 4 of them. I don't care if they have swords. We'll all let us die then. You go and you fucking keep doing your work. And he's like, and then he fucking heals the guy's ear. He puts the guy's fucking ear back on. And then, no, take me. Let's go. I always found that fucking inspiring, but I get it. I get it from the perspective of like, I can't leave this. I can't.
Wait, tell me more about the ear.
Simon Peter cut off the guard's ear.
Okay.
Jesus, I don't know if he picked it up off the ground. This is a story. He grabs the ear and he puts it back on and heals it. And the guard's like, fucking.
Who heals it?
Shit. Jesus.
Okay.
Jesus heals the guard's ear, who's going to take him to his death.
Gotcha. No, you're going to need this ear, man.
You're going to want to hear what I have to say, buddy. I got some white hot truth coming through my channel. You're going to want 2 ears for this surround sound. We got to get your Dolby on, buddy. Sorry, my buddy got a little carried away. Let me put that back on for you. There you go, buddy.
Oh, God. I feel like I'm the guy that cut the ear off.
Yeah, right. Get out of here, Jesus!
Run!
Holy shit. Simon, you cut that motherfucker's ear off. That's extreme. I was going to go. God told me about this just now. I'm ready. But none of that's the point. None of that's the point. No, I don't even mean to bring the Bible into it, but it's just so like they're cultural stories that a lot of people know and resonate with. But there's this feeling of going. And like I wrote an article also in the magazine that nobody's fucking read yet, so it can't even really reference it. But I was writing about how like it's hard to put it to words, but like once you experience the ideal, once you experience living in God's plan, it's one way to say it.
Yeah.
Once you experience divinity unfolding in your life, and you know.
Is that Drake? God's plan?
God's plan. Dun, 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 got a lot of bad things.
I think he was referring to a different
yeah.
G-O-D.
Yeah, grand old devil.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, God's plan.
But once you experience it, like you never want to leave again, and nothing matters.
Yeah,
nothing else.
I know.
Matters. Not a single fucking thing. Not money, not cash, not. It's the same thing. Not money, not cash, not dollars, not pennies, not cents. Not your stocks, not your investments, not your cars, not your fancy clothes. But really, it's nothing. It's nothing.
Yeah.
Not love. Love doesn't really matter.
I know.
The peace doesn't even really matter. Like your emotions, your quality of life, your physical safety, none of it matters. None of it's it all matters. Like let's be real, it fucking matters, and it hurts, or it's great, or it's like you still feel the pull. Like it's not that any of that goes away. It's just at the moment you go, okay, I'm going to trust this. It's terrifying, but I'm going to trust it. And then you watch it play out, and it's better than you could have architected yourself. Yeah. The moment you have that experience, I'll never leave. I'll never do anything else. Like this is it. I'm sold. This is it. It's better than anything. I'll never fucking leave. Like take me whatever you, and I can get from now, from this place. I understand. God's like, go die. Right? I get it. It's not like I'd be happy about it. Yeah, fucking martyrdom. Not at fucking all. But there's this feeling of like, all right, my time here is done.
Yeah.
Like I've done all I can. Like I of course wish I could have done more, you know, but I know I did all I could. You know, it's like there's this like, all right, like, all right.
It's totally different.
Like there's almost this like, just make sure it's good. Just make sure it's good. like use it. If I'm going out, use it.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's like all I would want. But there's just this like, it's once you're in it, you don't go. There's nothing. It's compelling.
I know. It's that whole fulfillment thing.
Yeah.
Nothing's fulfilling in that way. And it's like life is better, but it's not better by any of the metrics in which everyone else measures better and measures success.
The things that everyone searches for, gets, and then feels immediately hollow and disappointed.
Yeah.
It's not in those things. Because who actually gives a fuck? Who's ever been actually satisfied by the money they made? Who's ever actually been satisfied by the fucking car they drive?
I know, it's always more. More, the next thing, the new thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's this like something to prove. It's wild, this world that we live in that isn't even true or accurate or representative of how we actually are meant to operate as humans. They've got us like so brainwashed and twisted. Yeah. It's a lot to deconstruct. But I think that's what we do really well.
I think so too.
Is people that are willing and ready to deconstruct all of it.
Yeah.
And then rebuild with a foundation of divinity, a foundation of God. But it's not even, you don't have to come from any sort of religious background at all. I didn't. Yeah. But just knowing that God is real and how God has worked in your life and knowing that that's true and valid above everything else. Yeah. And like, it's actually, I mean, I think it's probably better if you don't have a religious background personally in some ways, because the programming's just not there. Probably. The rule sets are bananas to me. Yeah. I think it's easier, honestly.
Yeah, mine worked because it was so extreme. I mean, Jehovah's Witnesses are pretty fucking extreme. Yeah. That's a very extreme version of religion. Like, don't hang out with anyone except for Jehovah's Witnesses, and, you know, come home right after school, no extracurricular activities.
No soccer.
No soccer. Well, I played soccer at lunch, but no track.
Mm.
That was the first time I realized I was different
Mm.
as a Jehovah's Witness. I was like, Dad, can I do track? I wanted to run with my friend Brandon, and he got new shoes for his track run. You know, because, I run track. My mom got me some new shoes. I was like, oh my God, that's so
cool. Oh my fucking God, that's not what you said.
Yeah, maybe. No, it's not. Oh, wow, that's so great. Brandon. Wow. Dad, can I run track? No, son. As Jehovah's Witnesses, we don't do any extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, that's probably true. It's probably like raised with no religion and raised with an extreme religion are probably the easiest ways to let it all break, because it's like whatever. It's
like dad's a politician, Freemason, or like
oh God.
or Mormonism.
I know.
Lots of Mormons are good coming out.
I see that a lot with Mormons.
Jehovah's Witnesses is kind of tough.
Even the
Amish. Not to really buff me, but there's a lingering deep dark sadness that Jehovah's Witnesses have. That the moment I see a Jehovah's Witness, I can feel it. It is a deep sadness. It's wild. It's wild, and it's in all of them. In all of them, I can still find it in myself.
Wow.
It's like when you feel a Mormon, you're like, there's just some wealth in there somewhere. It's the same thing. It's like, ooh, you got like a deep sadness.
I know, a lot of canned goods. A lot of preparatory wealthy vibes in there. A lot of underground bunker vibes. Yeah. I know, I see that too with the Amish that have left.
Yeah.
Just hard swings.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's normal.
Same.
It's like the teenage rebellion, really. I think that's where it starts to crack.
Yeah.
There's that, like, I'm different from my parents, like, how am I going to establish myself? And it's so easy to just go full 180. Yeah. It's easier to go full 180 than to move like 4 degrees.
I know, I've liked this whole journey of like post 2020 really, but I mean, I guess it started with like my spiritual awakening and like energy and blah, 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 and synchronicities and signs and astrology, and like kind of started way back then. But more so in 2020, it escalated everything to like just dive into all of these different pockets and just take hard stances and be like, Joe Biden's a clone. And then like watch how people just freak out and they're like, what? How can you say that, Miriam? Like, you know, or like, I'm going to kill your grandma. And like, everyone's like, oh my God, that's so rude. Like, you need to wear a mask. You know, whatever the thing was at the time. It just kind of felt fun, and it showed how like programmed people were.
Yeah.
And it was like, wait, we can't just say stuff like that? Like, me saying that's offensive to you? How? Like, how does what I say on the internet have any relevance to your life? Like, that's a problem. Like, it's just, it was very telling.
And that ended up translating into, like, you spearheading that ended up translating into a whole body of work around inner solidity. Because the one of the main concepts we end up teaching is like, you got to be willing not to be racist and homophobic and like transphobic and like mean and a bitch and overly not actually being those things, but you have to be willing to be labeled as those things. And the moment you're willing to be labeled as those things, knowing that you're not those things, you can say whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't matter.
You're actually free.
Because like how, and it's the same with intelligence, which I think is tricky for most people that are like me. Maybe not most people, but it's the same thing with intelligence. There's this degree
dorks.
of like,
we call them dorks.
Yeah, it's the same with the dork. You know, basically everyone who's just like me, which is like probably everyone. Like statistically, it's like probably pretty good, you know. But it's the same with intelligence. If you're willing to be labeled as a retard, it doesn't matter. Then because you know that you're an intelligent, capable person. Right? And it doesn't matter. Like, then you can play in all the places that immediately make you stupid. And once you can play in all the places that make you stupid, you see how intelligent people are enslaved. You see why 2020 happened. You see why stupid people looked so stupid, making stupid decisions and statements left and right. And their IQ on paper, they're fucking geniuses. And the reason why is because you can be manipulated so easily by steering your logic. If you have a powerhouse of a brain, all someone needs to do to get you to think a certain way is to steer that powerhouse of brain down a very specific lane or very specific avenue. And once you follow that logic to its end, you're going to come to a conclusion, and it's a set conclusion. And you have to be smart to arrive at that conclusion. And that's what hooks you. Oh, see, I needed to understand medical terminology. I couldn't just read skin, I had to read dermis. And most people don't know that dermis is skin. Most people don't know that dermatology is the study of the skin. And because people don't know this language, when they read this paper, they don't get it. But I've studied so much that I understand it. And that's why people read these articles, they just don't know what they're talking about. They don't know that it's going to be 5%, and that the Harvard and Yale studies say there's probably 50 times more people that have COVID than the original projections, and that it's even more deadly. So really probably like everybody in the world's going to die immediately. Like that, they don't know how bad it is. Like that's how you fuck up an intelligent person is by threatening them with their intelligence. If you're smart, you'll believe this. And the moment that you can tell someone who overly identifies with something that their identity is threatened, you can make them do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah. Yes, 100%.
And that's why those stances matter.
Yeah. Which ones? The extreme ones?
All of the
Just
ones you take.
Making random.
All of the extreme stances.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Well, because you just see it doesn't matter.
You're good at taking stances. This keeps locking.
Wait, unlock it and then let's open the doors.
Okay. Sorry.
There. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm good at taking extreme stances.
You're good at taking extreme stances, and it always makes a point. You're good at taking stances on the edges of what people are comfortable with, specifically to make people uncomfortable, not to overly identify with the stance. You don't give a fuck about most stances. You really don't.
I know.
I know you. But you're good at going, I'm willing to be that.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? And then people go, like they're Goku in Dragon Ball Z powering up, like trying to go Super Saiyan. Like they like can't stand it. And then you're good at going, why so angry, bro? You know, and it kind of like shocks. It's like, why does this infuriate me? Why do I hate Miriam right now?
I know.
And it's like, welcome to the collective field.
Welcome to the dome.
Welcome to your free will being hijacked. Welcome to all of the stances that aren't fucking yours. Do you really care about this?
I know. I know. I think the first time I really noticed that,
You're like, actually, I've been doing it my whole life.
I know. I know. Because as soon as I was like, well, it just keeps going back further and further. But yeah, there's been a lot of instances. But one of them specifically was kids at the border. When that was the cool thing, and Glennon Doyle was talking about it, and like all, Elizabeth Gilbert, everyone's talking about kids at the border. That was the thing. And then people were like, if you have a platform and you need to speak out about this, like people need to know. It's like, well, then everybody has a platform. So now everybody has to speak out about this. And then everyone changed their business and who they were donating to and all the proceeds, and like togetherness.org or whatever the heck, gettogether.org, whatever the things were. Everyone had all these things and all these stances of things you were supposed to do. And my friend was like, I just want to post pictures of pretty flowers. And I was like, well, then do it. But it's like she felt guilty for not sharing about kids at the border. And it's like, that's crazy. Like, we all can't talk about the thing. And this was in 2017. This is before. Because now it's become more obvious and more apparent, the things you're supposed to talk about online.
Yeah.
But then it was still kind of... But like so many other instances too. There was like the Paris bombing or something, and all my friends at the time were all upset and distraught about it, and I didn't give a fuck. which was weird because I'm like, wow, I'm not crying on the floor with them. Should I get on the floor and start crying too? Like, do I have any tears? It's like weird. I didn't feel it. I didn't feel what they were feeling.
Yeah.
Same thing. I was at the Boston Marathon bombing. I was there, and like I was there with with several friends. One in particular was a hot mess. We were all drunk. One in particular was lost her gourd, but like I wasn't scared. I didn't. I don't know. Like it's just weird it feels like you're kind of crazy or like a sociopath. It's like, why don't I care about all the things that everybody's like deeply caring about and crying about? Like it's a little unsettling, but now post 2020, as I've continued to learn more about the world and how people are programmed and manipulated and told what to think and how to react, it's like, oh, I actually feel grateful that I'm not so easily swayed by the latest thing.
Yeah.
And I want people to be free from that too. Like, I want them to know it's okay. Like, you can trust your intuitive feed. Like, if you're being guided to share a picture of a flower on the internet when everyone's talking about kids in cages, then like share the pic, like trust that over everything else. Like, we live in a world where you're not trusting your own access. You're trusting what other people are telling you is the good thing. Like, that's alarming to me. That's red flag number 1.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. Like, I care about truth. And like, that's, I feel a politician. I care about truth. But I do. That's like the most important thing to me.
Yeah.
So to not see that out there, I'm always gonna like push people in that direction or say the thing that pushes people in that direction. Or it's more like a shove.
Yeah.
Like, even I remember this one woman like was worried about her daughter falling behind in school with 2020, and it's like, behind what? What does that even mean? What's that metric even mean? And aren't all the kids falling behind then? Like, so isn't this like what's the thing?
Yeah.
And it's like, and then why is that wrong and bad? Like, why the panic? Like, can it be okay if we're in this global pandemic and your child slips behind in reading? Or like, what if you just work with them and they don't fall behind? Like, I don't know what the problem is here. I have a hard time with that kind of shit.
Yeah. It's
made up.
It's one of those things that, like, once you see it, you can't unsee it. But before you see it, like, all of this stuff is just the news. It's the new. Like, what do you mean? Like, my perception's not being manipulated. This is just what's happening. Like, and you look like stupid. You look so stupid for going, yeah, but like, your perception's being driven down a very specific. And they're like, no, I'm doing my own research. And they're like, no, you're being presented with a series of facts, and it feels as though you're coming to organic thought. But you literally read that line for line. Like, you're repeating back to me an article that you read this morning. Like, have you ever thought why that article is so important to push out? Have you ever thought what is the motivation behind people putting out those articles?
Where does it go?
What do you mean, where does it go?
Like, where do these articles go? Where are they leading me?
Yes. Yes.
Because it's not just willy-nilly.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's leading, all these things are leading us to a place.
Yeah.
And what place is that?
Yeah. I started writing about that a little bit in 2020 on Facebook before I left. And my art teacher was pissed. My high school art teacher was pissed.
Oh, funny. I forgot about that.
And was commenting, like, because I wrote something about, like, the block of culture. Like, you're, like people don't realize that there's a massive block of culture that's moving all in the same direction. It's all the late night shows, it's the news, it's the every single information source you're seeing is moving in the exact same direction. So you feel as though it's just the world and its perspectives. And this is right. Everyone around you is saying it. But like, you don't realize that that's being constructed and architected.
Right.
So I made a point like that. And she commented back like, well, it might be helpful if you said a little bit more about what this block of culture is that you're talking about. And I was like, how is this not apparent? Because it seems so, like, the moment you look at it, it seems very obvious.
Well, yeah, the moment you walk into Barnes and Noble and you're inundated with witchcraft, literally, like, here's a book on new witchcraft recipes, astrology, blah, 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 like all those things. It's, tarot cards, all of it. That's in their front section at Barnes & Noble.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is where culture's at. This is the block of culture.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
the language, no cap.
Mm-hmm.
Fax, no printer.
Mm-hmm.
That's culture.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, like, Carl Jung is popping off in culture.
Big time.
Like, so that to me is a red flag to stay the fuck away.
Well, people are going more spiritual. Carl Jung's a good bridge between mainstream spirituality, like
I roll my eyes at Carl Jung.
like
He's like supposedly world renowned.
we live in a physical reality. Everything is physical. Meditation has a neurological effect that calms your nervous system to get quiet, helps to calm your thoughts where you're not overloaded by your to-do list. It's a good bridge from that very, very mainstream spirituality into some of the occult.
Yeah.
So I think that's you're right. It is showing the direction of where things are moving. But I think people are starting to move more toward the occult and esoteric. They're trying to understand the unexplainable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which darkness has crafted out a whole pocket for you to live within. Mm-hmm. And other channels that you may respect and admire.
Yeah.
That are pulling that exact feed that they only have access to because they don't believe in God.
Yeah.
And they haven't differentiated out their feed from this dark intelligence that they're bringing through that happens to match culture. That's weird. So then it gets affirmed, it gets higher in the algorithm, it gets praised.
Yeah.
It's all by design. Like, it's so intricately crafted. Darkness has done a really good job at painting the picture of false light and giving something shiny for people to fall on, or to hold on to, but it still brings them to the same location, which is you're a mini god. Your thoughts create your reality. Be positive. Don't feel your feelings, essentially.
Yeah.
Don't be a real person. Play a caricature. Be a narcissistic egomaniac, and you will get ahead. And if you don't do those things, well, then you weren't positive enough. You didn't do it right. And then you become the problem. When it was never about any of that. And it's just about your own individual connection, knowing that you're already good. Again, not popular, not lucrative thing to say, but it's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild how much fear sells and inadequacy, reminding people of how inadequate they are. Falsely. But that makes dollar signs.
Yeah. But it don't make sense.
That's awesome. Oh, that was really good.
Thanks.
Yeah. Good job. This is great.
This was great.
Do you want to delete it?
No, it's fine. Yeah, leave it up. I think it's great.
Okay.
Yeah, it's getting dark. I'm excited to see how our sound sounds, actually.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, we should eat something. And I gotta pee.
If I drank more water, I bet I'd have to pee too.
I mean, you had 32 ounces of cold brew.
I know. I'm not hydrated. Just think all this.
Like a raisin.
Yeah.
You look like 85.
Yeah. That's what I was going for. I had to get my socks. My feet are cooled off. Yeah, this was good.
That was good.
We can do more.
I think so.
You guys liked it. Leave us a thumbs up.
I know. Let us know if you liked it. Let us know if you want to see more.
Yeah, let us know if you liked it to affirm us, so that way we'll continue to do it. No, we're going to do what's here and only what's here, and that's how this works. And if people don't like it,
Well, yeah.
Johnny didn't like it, so no, we're still going to do what's here.
I know.
Fuck these people.
But I like affirmation, honey. I love affirmation.
We haven't had affirmation in
fucking 10 years. I haven't been affirmed in a decade, motherfuckers. Try me now. Try me now.
Look at David letting loose. Isn't it good, guys? That's the shit we're here for. Seriously, the real deal David.
Yeah, the real deal.
It's nice. It's nice. I feel like people, they hear of you through me, and they hear your personal things through me of what you're up to. And if you farted earlier or whatever, I post on the internet that you don't know about.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yes. I mean, since I started channeling, I stopped being a like social media influencer. You know what I mean?
No.
So before
Oh, yes.
I was like building an audience.
Yeah.
Like I was a coach. It was all about me. I was building an
Yeah.
audience. I was posting my thoughts, doing videos. Even when I first started channeling, I was still
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm a influencer. I'm a coach. I'm a mentor. I'm a spiritual influencer now. Now I'm a spiritual. Before 6 months ago, I was an atheistic influencer, but now I'm a spiritual influencer. Like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna still do this. I'm gonna shoot videos. But like the more I channeled, I was like, fuck this influencer shit. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I don't
But
like
now
that
it's coming.
word,
I know, because it comes with a certain archetype.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm coming back around to the idea of like, okay, well, it probably is important to like be online.
Yes.
You know, like
As
I'm having
you.
to come. Yeah, I'm having to come back
Yes,
around
yes,
to it
yes.
because before I was all about it.
Yeah.
I was all fucking about it, like building the fucking audience and whatever.
I
And
know.
like, yeah, my
But
Instagram followers.
it's such a character. It really is.
Yeah, I know. Which
And
is why it's difficult for me to find like, okay, so like what am I gonna do now that's like what's my actual expression online?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for me to find. I think you found a very good groove in that you can go online and you can do your lives and this is interesting. Like I like this. But there's more expression for me and like
I agree.
for me like there's a degree of like I like to churn on something. Like I need to like sit on something and I can do something in the moment and it's good and I like it. Like this was fun. This is good.
Mm-hmm.
But like I want to now take this
Mm-hmm.
and I want to tinker and I want to take the ideas from this. I want to like, and I want to distill them down and I want to make them as like, as precise, concise, and profound as possible. Like that's my shit. And and it's easy with things like music where like the lyrics come through or the melody comes through and you sit and it churns and it churns and it churns and you've listened to the melody or the song or the track 1,000 times by the time you ever even think about publishing. Just by the time you're like, I can step away for now, this is good enough, I'll come back later. You've listened to it 1,000 times. Like that's my jam. Like refining and distilling shit down to like the like whitest, hottest fucking truth. That's my shit. And I don't get that from live streaming. I'm like, it's cool. It's cool. I like it. I mean it's great. We can do this. We can totally do this. But it's not satiating to me in the same way that I feel you be satiated by it. So like for me, I need to, there's an element of like, okay, so is it like vlogs? Is it sitting down? Is it do it? Like, I don't want to do sit down, boring ass fucking videos with a script. Like I can't, it's too fucking boring.
I know.
It's terrible. So like, okay, how do we interweave like our life into it and like actual B-roll, not like stock footage B-roll, but like actual like clips from our life and how do I tell a story in a way that's actually organic? How do I talk like this, but then still refine it down to a product, right? Like that for me is.
Yeah, I think that's why this was important.
There's a destination over the horizon, and I must find it and pull it to me.
Yes, I think that's why this was important to do.
Yeah. I do feel more clear. It's helpful
good.
feeling that I'm not satiated by things that are quick. I need to like.
Yeah, that's totally your style. I know.
Churn.
I just have to get it out and be done with it and move on to the next thing. And I'm over it. I'm over it.
Yeah, for me, the idea coming in is not exciting. The idea being refined to its completion is the most exciting thing for me.
Oh, that's zero.
Yeah. That's why we work together. That's why we work well together on things. Because you're quick. You can pull through shit faster than I can keep up, honestly. But like I want to
but then you
I want to make the diamond. I want to crush the coal and the diamond, and only diamonds are satisfying to me. Only diamonds. Coal's cool. I mean, the coal needs to be like I need the raw material. Fucking need it.
Yeah.
And if I don't have the raw material, I'm just fucking crushing my hands together, you know, which is what it feels like I've been trying to do.
Yeah.
Is like.
Yeah. Well, I think even what you said about taking this video and even incorporating it with all the footage we have from today.
Yeah, maybe.
and not doesn't have to be, but like
Yeah.
I can see that idea for sure.
Yeah, there's something to it. I mean, I could tinker around. Like the most I could make from all the footage we've captured the past few days is like, we're coming back, doing some videos. This is the main point.
Yeah.
But it's not a video. It's not a video.
Hmm?
It can be a video, and it could just be fun, like practice, like to get back in the groove. But it's not the feeling. I'm still trying to find it. I'm still trying to zero in. It's interesting. It's interesting. I'll find it. I'll find it. But
It's cool.
anyway.
No, it's good. It's
All right,
good.
y'all. Thanks for tuning in. It's been great being live with so many of you here.
Yep.
So many of you here. Hope you enjoy the replay. I'll post this in the community shortly. And see you later. Bye for now. Peace.
Bye. Hey, you just have to end it, yeah?
How do you do it?